Thompson lived in a town. He had a small family, his wife, Kate, and their son, Nick. Thompson worked at a factory. His hours were long, but his pay was small. Nick was in 4th grade. He was smart and did well in school. Every day, he watched his classmates riding bikes. Some had red bikes, some had blue. Nick didn't have it. He walked to school, carrying his heavy bag. It made him sad sometimes, but he didn't say anything. He knew his father couldn't afford a bike. Nick's best friend was Archie. Archie had a bike, but he never showed off. They had been friends since they were little. One morning, Nick sat at his desk, arranging his books. Archie dropped into the seat beside him and smiled. The bell rang, and the classroom settled down. Ma'am Sarah walked in holding the attendance register.
"Good morning, class,"
she said with a smile. After calling out names, she looked up.
"Listen up, everyone. Sports Week starts this coming Monday. If you want to take part in the bicycle race, stand up so I can note your names."
Chairs scraped. Students jumped up, excited. A few waved their hands high.
"Ma'am, me! I want to join too."
Ma'am Sarah smiled and wrote down each name. Then her eyes stopped on Nick.
"Nick, don't you want to take part? You're always active in games."
Nick stood slowly.
"I don't have a bicycle, ma'am."
Some kids giggled. A boy at the back called out,
"He doesn't even know how to ride."
The class laughed louder. Ma'am Sarah raised her hand. The room went quiet. She looked at Nick kindly.
"That's all right. When you have, you can take part."
Nick nodded and sat down. Ma'am Sarah turned to the board and began her lesson. The students got busy with rustling pages and scribbling pens. But Nick stayed quiet, staring at his desk. Archie sighed and gave Nick a soft pat on the arm. Soon after the 4th period ended, the bell rang for recess. The students jumped from their seats, ready for recess. Nick and Archie came out of the classroom together. The playground was full of noise. Kids laughing, running, shouting. But Nick was quiet. They walked to their usual bench and sat down. Nick slowly opened his lunchbox and took out his burger. He held it out to Archie without saying anything. Archie took a bite, then smiled, and handed Nick one of his sandwiches. After a moment, Archie said,
"Nick, you know what? A shop opened near my house just last week."
Nick looked at him with a little curiosity.
"They rent bicycles,"
Archie said.
"You can take one for an hour and ride it. That way you can learn how to ride and enjoy it too."
Nick raised his eyebrows.
"Really?"
Archie nodded.
You can't take part in the competition right now.
He added.
But next time, you'll be ready.
Nick took a big bite of the sandwich.
Thanks, Archie.
He said with a smile. That evening, Nick changed his clothes and put on his shoes. He was a bit nervous but also excited. He walked into the living room.
Mom, I'm going out.
He said. Kate looked up.
Where are you going?
There's a new shop near Archie's house.
Nick said.
They rent bicycles. I want to take one on rent.
Kate felt something break in her chest. Still, she smiled and said softly,
All right, dear. Do you need some money?
Nick smiled.
No, Mom. I have my pocket money.
He gave her a quick hug.
Thanks anyway.
Kate kissed his forehead.
I'm proud of you, my son.
Nick walked to the door and said,
Mom, I'll be back before Dad comes.
Okay, ride safe.
Kate said. Nick nodded and stepped outside. Nick walked to the shop with Archie, his hands cold with nervousness. The bike looked taller than he thought. As he climbed on, legs shaking, Archie held the seat and said,
I'll help you balance.
Slowly, Nick began to ride. He learned slowly, practicing every day on a rented bicycle. One evening, he was walking to the store when he saw a boy lying on the road. A bicycle was next to him, and blood was running down his leg. Nick rushed over.
Are you okay?
He asked, bending down. The boy spoke.
My leg hurts. Can you take me to the hospital?
Nick nodded. He helped the boy sit on his own bicycle, then climbed on behind him. Holding the handles tight, Nick started to ride. Soon, they reached the hospital. Nick called the boy's parents. They came soon.
Thank you, son.
Mike's father said. Nick smiled.
Thank God I learned on a rented bike. Or who knows what would have happened.
Mike asked.
Can I know your address?
Nick told him, then waved goodbye and walked back home. One evening, Mike came with his dad. After some talk, his dad gave him the car keys. Mike soon returned with a new bicycle.
It's a gift for you, Nick.
Nick hesitated. Uncle Charles smiled.
You've earned this with your good heart.
Nick's dad smiled and said,
Take it, son.
Nick touched the bike gently.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks, Uncle.
Both smiled warmly. Moral: do good, have good.